At the edge of the South Atlantic, the sea crashes against rocky coasts. The wind never stops, and in every direction there's more sheep than people. It's the kind of place that seems built for solitude. There are no shopping malls here, no long highways, no Starbucks, just wide skies, rolling hills, and silence. From a distance, it looks like the kind of place people leave. Not the kind they choose, but they do choose it. Families have lived here for generations. Children grow up and stay. Some newcomers even arrive by choice, searching for something they couldn't find anywhere else. Why? What is it about this isolated outpost that keeps pulling people back? This is the Falkland Islands. Long before flags were planted, the Falkland Islands were silent. No indigenous people lived here. No ancient civilizations left ruins. Just seabirds and seals. Then came the explorers. French, Spanish, and British ships crossed these waters in the 18th century, each staking a claim. But it wasn't until the early 1800s that humans began to stay. First came seal hunters, then shepherds, then settlers, some from Britain, others from St. Helena, Chile, and even Argentina. They braved the storms and carved out homes in the windswept hills. By the mid-19th century, the islands were under firm British control. And from then on, a small but lasting community began to grow. One built not from conquest, but from endurance. The Falklands don't make life easy. There are no native trees. The soil is thin. The wind howls relentlessly across the moors. Winters are cold, summers are mild, and rain comes often. The islands sit far from major continents, over 300 miles from Argentina and nearly 8,000 miles from the UK. It's a land where nature sets the rules. Outside the capital, Stanley, the region known as Camp, stretches out in near silence. Sheep outnumber people 150 to 1. Roads turn to dirt tracks. Neighbors might live miles apart, but for those who stay, this isolation isn't a burden. It's a way of life, one that offers space, peace, and the quiet comfort of knowing exactly where you are. For over a century, wool was king. After the sealers came the shepherds, and sheep became the backbone of the Falklands economy. Farms, known locally as stations, spread across the islands. The terrain was rough, but sheep thrived in the cool, grassy hills. Wool was shipped to Britain, connecting this distant colony to the global market. For many families, this trade was their livelihood, generation after generation. Life on a station was tough, long days, harsh weather, isolation, but it also bred resilience, a deep bond with the land, and a rhythm of life that hasn't completely disappeared. Even today, wool remains one of the island's key exports. Not just a product, but a link to history, tradition, and pride. In 1982, everything changed. Argentine forces landed on the islands, claiming sovereignty. The British responded with force, launching a full military campaign. 74 days later, the war ended. But its impact was just beginning. The conflict put the Falklands on the map. And after it ended, the British government made a promise. Never again would the islands be overlooked. Money flowed in. Infrastructure was rebuilt. Roads were paved. The hospital expanded. A new airfield connected the islands to the outside world. And perhaps most significantly, a development corporation was formed. This post-war era wasn't just about recovery. It was about transformation. From a sleepy outpost, the Falklands began evolving into a self-sustaining, forward-looking society. The war was a rupture, but also a reset. And in the decades that followed, the islands grew more independent, more modern, and more determined than ever to shape their own future. The sea that once isolated the Falklands would soon sustain them. In 1986, the islands declared a 200-mile exclusive economic zone. It gave them control over surrounding waters, rich in marine life. Almost overnight, fishing became the island's primary source of income. Licenses were sold to international fleets. especially from Asia and Europe. The fees were high, but so were the rewards. That revenue didn't vanish into private pockets. It built schools, funded healthcare, supported pensions. For a population of just over 3,000, the impact was transformative. The Falklands became financially self-sufficient. They no longer relied on British aid. Though the economy still had its risks, like fluctuating fish stocks, it had a newfound stability. The cold, churning ocean had become the island's lifeline. Not just a natural barrier, but a national asset. From the outside, it's easy to assume life here must be hard. But step into Stanley, and you'll find something surprising. Paved streets, well-stocked shops, bright homes with satellite dishes, schools with smart boards, a hospital that offers care from birth to old age, all free. Thanks to fishing, the Falklands boast one of the highest per capita incomes in the region. Wages are strong. Crime is almost non-existent. Public services rival those in much larger nations. Education is a priority. Students even study abroad, then return with new skills. Technology helps bridge the isolation. Flights connect the islands to the world. Of course, it's not perfect. Choices are limited. The weather is still unforgiving. But for those who stay, it offers something rare. A safe, self-sufficient life where nature sets the pace and community still matters. The Falklands may be small, but their sense of identity is enormous. Most locals call themselves Kelpers, a badge of pride. Their culture blends British roots with island resilience. You'll hear English spoken with a distinct Falklands accent. Community events bring everyone together, from sheepdog trials to Liberation Day. Despite its size, the population is diverse. Some families have been here for generations. Others arrived from St. Helena, Chile, or the UK. What unites them isn't just heritage, it's shared independence. In 2013, nearly every resident voted to remain a British overseas territory. A message not of politics, but of belonging. This isn't just where they live, it's who they are. Even paradise has its pressures. The Falklands remain at the center of a long-standing territorial dispute. Argentina still claims the islands, and tensions still flare. But politics isn't the only concern. Environmental threats loom large. Overfishing by unauthorized vessels threatens marine life. Oil exploration brings hope and alarm. Could it bring prosperity or risk the island's fragile ecosystem? And as the climate shifts, so does the balance of nature here. For a community built on independence, the future will demand care, not just from governments, but from the people who live here. The challenge isn't just to survive, but to preserve what makes this place so rare. So, why do people stay? It's not just about economy, not just about loyalty. It's something quieter, a connection to the land, to the coastlines, to a place where you know every neighbor. In the Falklands, life is defined by space, simplicity, and self-reliance. People stay because they belong, not to a system, but to each other. Because this is a place where the past is close, and the future is theirs to shape. And because sometimes the hardest places to live are the ones that teach you the most about life. Far from everything, yet deeply rooted. The Falkland Islands aren't for everyone, but for the people who call them home, they're everything. Thank you for watching. Let us know what you think of the Falkland Islands. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.